there, I'm Hillary McCarthy and welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to demo an indirect painting method using our model Henry.
Say hi, Henry. And here's a finished painting of Henry. I'm first going to demonstrate how to create a type of underpainting which was popular with the Italian Renaissance artists. I'm going to demonstrate the wipe out or rub out technique, which is a subtractive process where you wipe out the light masses using a rag. It's a very intuitive way of looking at light. I'm toning the canvas with burnt umber Gamsol on a rag, then using a brush and a rag to smooth the burnt umber wash onto the canvas. This is my imprimatura. An imprimatura is an initial stain of color on the canvas, and is also a common Italian Renaissance oil painting technique. Your underpainting is essentially the skeleton of your painting. I'm doing a rough blocking in the big shapes before I start wiping out the lights. I then start putting in the darks. After I finish putting in the darks, then I start wiping out the lights with a Gamsol soaked rag, a Gamsol soaked brush, and a Gamsol soaked Q-tip, whatever I need to make the mark I'm looking for. Larger areas I use a rag, smaller areas I use a Q-tip or a small brush. An underpainting lends itself to having very, very soft edges and an overall atmospheric quality. Another advantage to an underpainting is that you can glaze over it with another color, creating optical blending and nuanced surfaces, where part of the underpainting shows underneath. I decided to use a photo of Henry instead of working from life because he's a puppy and can't stop moving. There's pros and cons to using a photo. The con is that the human eye can see more colors and subtle value shifts than a camera can pick up. So it's obviously more true to life than what a camera can capture. Another con to using a camera is that it makes the darks a lot darker than what they usually are and the edges a little sharper. So you have to adjust that when painting. Also, what's happening in this photo is that the lens is warping a little bit. There's a little bit of a fisheye going on with his head, so you have to take that into account. A positive to working with a photo is that the model always stays still. Also, the lighting is always the same. I think drawing is the hardest part of painting, and it's also one of the most important parts of painting. So to help me with measuring and accuracy, sometimes I use a 4-square grid just to help me line things up correctly. And whether I'm working from a photo or working from life, I squint about 85% of the time I'm painting. One of my favorite tools to use is negative shape. I'm always looking at the negative shape to figure out what's going on in the abstract shapes. I'm now reestablishing the lights using white. I'm using two different whites, a titanium for an opaque cool white and a cremence for areas in his fur that are warmer, creamier, and more sculptural. Though he wasn't an Italian Renaissance artist, John Singer Sargent used different whites for different temperatures, as seen in the following study. At this point in the painting, I like to flip the painting upside down. Why do I flip it upside down? Because your brain disassociates with what you know of as an eye or water or a dog, and it lets you see the abstract shapes more easily. I like to use my grainer brush to paint the fur. It has different bristle lengths. I also like to use this brush when painting human hair. So right now I'm hardly using any medium and painting with thick impasto. Another thing I'm always thinking about is temperature. I think if you have a coolness in the light and the same coolness in the shadow, you'll have a muddy looking painting. So it's best to stagger the temperature to create harmony and balance. His nose is wet, so to make something look wet, I added little beaded highlights that glisten in the light, always softening the highlights as I put them down. I like to keep a feeling of life and movement in my painting and not stiffen up too much. Whether we work from photos or life, what we're doing essentially is painting life and what it means to be alive through our own unique lens.